Aloha mai kako Avelina mai ke aloha no Hawaii. Hello everyone and welcome to Ke Aloha no Hawaii. In this video, we are learning about nā kau a me ke Anilā, the seasons and the weather. Before I start the lesson, for those of you who haven't seen on the news, maybe some of you international viewers haven't seen this, last week parts of the United States were hit by a really brutal winter storm. In some of the areas, particularly in the state of Texas, these are areas that aren't really prepared for snow. And so a lot of people lost power, had no running water. Unfortunately, some people died. So I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to help. I mean, there's so many organizations. Here are just a few that I wanted to highlight. These are organizations that particularly focus on really vulnerable communities. So if you can support them, here are a few ways you can. I've included websites where there are websites. For those of you in the United States, you can also just send donations using the Venmo app. And I'll include these links in the description below. So thank you for supporting. Okay, let's start with our lesson. First, we have spring. Ke kau kupulau. The word ke kau is our general word for season or time period. And kupulau actually means leaf sprouting. So lau is the word for leaf, and kupu is a verb for to sprout. So of course, this is our time of year when new plants are blooming and sprouting. Pehea ke Anilā I ke kau kupulau. What is the weather like in spring? Well, it might be rainy, right? All the new plants need that rain to grow. Ua. And the rain is kaua. But once the rain has cleared, it might now be calm. Mali. And it might even be pleasant or nice. Olu olu. And just like in English, you can use olu olu to also talk about a person who's nice. Now let's look at summer. Ke kau vela. Pehea ke Anilā I ke kau vela. What is the weather like in summer? Well, hopefully it's sunny. La. The sun is kala. Also the word for the day, kala. And when it's sunny, it can get warm. Mahana or mehana, both words are used to mean warm. And it might even get hot. Vela. So you can see where our word for summer, ke kau vela, comes from. And in certain environments, like in Hawaii, it is also humid. Iki iki. Well, then we move into autumn or fall. Ke kau ha'ulelau. So ha'ulelau, you probably recognize lau, again, means leaf. And then ha'ule is a verb for to fall. So this is our season when the leaves are falling. Ke kau ha'ulelau. Pehea ke Anilā I ke kau ha'ulelau. What is the weather like in autumn or in fall? Well, it can be cloudy. O malu malu. It can even be a little stormy. Ino. And it can definitely be windy. Makani. And the wind is ka makani. And finally, we have winter. Ke kau ho'oilo. Pehea ke Anilā I ke kau ho'oilo. What is the weather like in winter? Well, it's definitely cold. Anu anu. And it might even be freezing. Hui hui. And of course, it can be in certain parts of the country and the world snowy. Hau or haukeia. The word for the snow is kahau or kahaukeia. Some other phrases having to do with weather. What is the weather today? Pehea ke anilā I ke ialā. Literally, how is the weather today? You might say, oh, today is nice. Olu olu ke ialā. Or today is hot. Vela ke ialā. Now, if you haven't watched my grammar video on adjectives, do that now, because that's where we're going to cover sentences like olu olu ke ialā, vela ke ialā, and you'll understand a little bit more why the word order is this way, because you probably notice the adjective itself, nice, olu olu, vela, hot, is in the first position, is the first word of the sentence. So watch that grammar video, and you'll understand why the word order is that way. Another important phrase, because weather can change throughout the day. So, for example, it might be rainy, but then it'll stop raining, and the rain has cleared. Mau koa. So, mau is this phrase for, cleared. It has cleared. And then finally, you might want to exclaim about the weather. This is something you might hear in Hawaii from people who aren't used to visiting a tropical climate. Wow, it's humid. You might say that like, whew, kaikiki. Now literally, whew is just interjection. It kind of means wow or oh or gosh. And kaikiki is the humidity. So you're really saying like, oh wow, the humidity. You could say, whew, kavela, wow, the heat. Whew, kamakani, wow, the wind, if it's strong. So that's a way that you could exclaim about the weather. And that is our short lesson on the seasons and the weather. There are actually a lot of more specific terms for specific types of weather. Just like in English, rain alone, we have so many different words: drizzle, misty, sprinkling, downpour. So similarly in Hawaiian, you could get really specific words, particularly for rain, particularly for clouds. I found a really, really good video that talks about the weather from the traditional Hawaiian perspective, because Native Hawaiians, when they were first, living off the land in Hawaii, they were very, very, very specific about the weather, not just wind, but the specific type of wind and what direction it was coming from, the specific types of clouds and what the shapes were, because that could tell you information about, when you should be planting items, when you should be fishing. And so that was a really fascinating video. So I've included that link in the description below. It's about 20 minutes, but I really recommend watching it. It is really fascinating, and you'll learn some additional terminology around the weather, as well as hear a little bit more about, the traditional Hawaiian months and calendar. So please watch that. And again, if you can support for those affected by the winter storm, that would be really great. But as always, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel and our Hawaiian language learning community. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you are notified as soon as new videos are released. And as always, until next time, ahui ho!